corner of Seoul that never truly slept, there stood a small coffee shop called Morning Pause *. It was tucked away in a narrow alley near Hongdae Station, a place where young people pass by carrying big dreams and dark under-eye circles, as deep as their favorite Americano. The cafe was not flashy, yet it was always warm, as if it held stories that were never spoken out loud. It was there that youth, coffee, and unspoken feelings met every day. Jihoon first started working at Morning Pause * when he was 22, the age when life felt like a cup of coffee that was too bitter, yet still something you wanted to finish to the last drop. He was a literature student who dreamed of becoming a writer, even though his writing often ended as unfinished drafts. Jihoon believed that the aroma of coffee could help him think, or at least make him feel less alone in a city as vast as Seoul every morning. He ground coffee beans with the same rhythm, as if it were the only thing he could truly control in his life. Sora came to the cafe as a regular customer, at first with no intention other than finding a quiet place to study. Her hair was always tied low. Her eyes often looked tired, and her hands almost always held a notebook filled with scribbles. She was a design student struggling to find her own style and identity. For Sora, Morning Pause * was a safe place, where she could sit in silence without having to explain anything to anyone. They began to get to know each other through small things. Jihoon memorized Sora's order without ever asking. An iced latte with a little sugar, even in winter. Sora recognized Jihoon's footsteps behind the bar, knew when he was nervous or lost in his thoughts. Their conversations were simple, often only about the weather, college assignments, or recommendations for indie Korean music that was gaining popularity. Yet behind that simplicity, there were pauses of silence that felt more meaningful than words. Spring arrived, bringing cherry blossoms that slowly fell along the streets. Seoul looked softer, as if the city itself were in love. Jihoon began writing again, inspired by long afternoons in the coffee shop and Sora's small smiles that often appeared, without a clear reason. He wrote about fragile youth, about people sitting across from each other yet afraid to step closer. Without realizing it, almost every sentence ended with the image of Sora. Sora, on the other hand, began sketching Jihoon in her sketchbook. Not clear portraits, but silhouettes, hands pouring coffee, or the back of someone standing in the glow of the evening light. She never dared to draw Jihoon's face completely, afraid that her feelings would become too visible, even to herself. She knew something was growing between them, something warm yet frightening, like hot coffee held in bare hands for too long. Time passed without waiting for their courage. Semesters changed, and the pressures of adult life began knocking louder. Jihoon received an internship offer at a small publishing company in Bizen, an opportunity he had long dreamed of. Sora was also preparing to join a student exchange program in Japan, a big step that could open her future. They kept this news tightly to themselves, each afraid of being the first to disturb the fragile balance between them. Until one night, rain fell without warning. The cafe was almost empty, accompanied only by the sound of rain and the coffee machine. Sora stayed longer than usual, staring at the rain-streaked window. Jihoon gathered the courage to sit across from her, something he rarely did when his shift was nearly over. They talked about dreams, about fears of the future, about how quickly their 20s seemed to pass. Words flowed, yet the heart of it all remained unspoken. There was a moment when their eyes met longer than they should have. Jihoon wanted to say that Sora was the reason he liked his job, that her presence made Seoul feel more human. Sora wanted to confess that she always looked forward to days at Morning Pause * because Jihoon was there. But their tongues were tied, defeated by the fear of change and loss. The day of farewell came without any grand ceremony. Jihoon left Morning Pause * with the last cup of coffee he made for himself. Sora arrived late, only managing to see Jihoon's back disappearing at the end of the alley. They left messages for each other. Jihoon placed a small note under Sora's favorite cup, and Sora slipped a simple sketch into Jihoon's forgotten notebook. There was no confession of love, only a faint hope that one day they would understand each other's feelings. Years later, Morning Pause still stood, though its owner and faces had changed. On a quiet afternoon, Jihoon returned to Seoul as a writer whose books were beginning to be known. Around the same time, Sora came back as a designer who had finally found her own voice. They met again at the same coffee shop, more mature, braver, carrying longing that had been brewed by time. In that moment, between the familiar aroma of coffee and the soft glow of the evening light, they smiled. Not all feelings need to remain unspoken forever. Sometimes, youth simply needs time to learn how to say them.